When women use financial tools to build their business, we feel like we're failing and doing it wrong. When men do it, they call it capital and leverage. Fucking mic drop. Welcome to the Manifesting Millions podcast, where we talk about manifestation, money, and practical guidance to creating your dream reality. My name is Amy Van Meel, and I am an experienced coach and transformation guide, obsessed with helping you get out of your own way and create a life that blows your mind each day you wake up. My goal in this podcast is to share practical manifestation, self-awareness, and growth techniques in real talk conversations. So if you're ready to massively transform your reality, your finances, your relationships, and your overall enjoyment of life, you are in the right place. I am absolutely delighted that you're here with me today, babe. Let's get into it. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to the Manifesting Millions podcast. I am, of course, your host, Amy Van Meel. I'm so excited that you're here with me. This was originally going to be my last podcast for 2024, and then I was going to hang up the microphone and go chill the fuck out. But I decided today that I'm actually going to record 2 more episodes because with my podcasting planning, that's not correct. With my podcasting schedule, since I typically have episodes drop on Wednesdays, I wanted to have a couple of episodes that are going to drop through the holidays for you so that if you need an excuse to just get out and go for a walk, have a semblance of normalcy, I got you. Now, those 2 episodes that will be, of course, then dropping on Christmas Day and New Year's Day, respectively. I guess technically the second one is technically in 2025, but whatever. They're not going to be quite as full as today. So today is really the last full episode for 2024. And I've got a lot of juice for you, so I'm going to get into it straight away. What I wanted to share today as we are getting ready to wrap up the year is 24 of my biggest lessons, learnings, and awarenesses of 2024. Now, let me just front this by saying that coming up with only 24 was both challenging and also coming up with 24 was tough because there was so much that this has been a really, really big, full, wild ride of a year for me. And there's going to come a time when I'll be like, so 2024 was the year that blah, 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 blah. That time is not now. What I am going to share with you is 24 lessons that came through that I really wanted to share with you. And they are in no particular order. Don't let the numbers fool you. They are just numbered in such a way in my doc so that I know which number we're on and to make sure that I had 24 of them for you. All right, so off we go. Number 1 on 24 of my biggest lessons. Love my body first, always, and above everything. And then explore knowledge, habit shifts, and movement to create change. I'm going to explain each of these a tiny little bit. So first of all, I've shared before that I went through a weight release journey probably about 2 years ago, released 52 pounds, kept it off, felt great. This year had a very unique set of lessons specific to my body, and you're going to see this come through in a few of the lessons that I share with you today. But one of the big ones, and this is why it was the very first thing that came through, was a reminder, a re-awareness, a relearning, a re-solidifying. Can I say re in a few more different ways? To really focus on loving my body first, always, and above everything. Our bodies are beautiful, amazing machines, creations. I mean, pick a word that sounds helpful for you. our bodies are fucking wild, okay? They are so fucking capable. It is just beyond. So, that's the first lesson. To love my body first, always and above everything. Number 2, the rat race is broken. All right? And everybody wants off the escalator. Everybody's fucking done with this. Breaking up with the 9 to 5 mentality, the day after day. Something that I've really noticed this year is watching a number of my friends. So my husband is 13 years older than me. So of course, all of his friends are similar age to him, which means that like the majority of people that I know here in Calgary are anywhere from 13 to 20 years older than me, which puts them all nearing the, I don't want to say end of their career, like their time is over, but they're all starting to like see the finish line of retirement. And oh my gosh, I've heard a few friends now that are just like, okay, it's only this many more years. Okay, I just need to get through this and then this. Like literally counting the days, the months, the years, whatever it is, to getting out of the rat race. So, this has been an interesting lesson for me because, of course, I have my own business, but also that means that I have a unique relationship with the rat race, I suppose. And just the quick and dirty on that is that one of the big things I've been working through this year has been feeling a sense of guilt, or like privilege somehow that I don't have to abide by the rules of the proverbial rat race. Okay. And it's been an interesting learning, and I will be sharing more about it as we go. But that was number 2 of my lessons. Number 3, trust the noise. And I sort of subtitled this as when it's time to stop working with a coach. Now, let me just say, you may have noticed a few times on socials, and I'm sharing this now here as well, that I have a few one-on-one spots opening up to work with me starting in January. So if you're looking for a next level coach, someone to really come alongside you, support you, cheer you on, help you shift, help you grow, reach the promotion, get a raise, get more happiness in a relationship, whatever, more balance in your life. We can do all the things, whatever you're looking for. I have some spots opening up in January. So if you're curious, just reach out to me on the socials, in the DMs. However, what I want to talk about is when to know when to stop working with a coach. So I believe deeply in working with coaches. I've worked with lots of coaches throughout my life. I don't have a coach all of the time. I go through like these massive growth phases, and a coach is always called into my life, always. And it's always the right coach for whatever it is that I needed to move through, work through, grow through in that particular season of my life. Now, when I was approaching my 40th birthday, so this is about a year and a half ago, a coach came into my sphere, and I started working with this coach like literally a week before my birthday. I knew I had a lot of transitions coming up. I was turning 40. I was getting married. I was getting ready to leave my job. Did not realize I'd be doing it quite so quickly. I stepped fully into my business. Like there's been a lot. So I was working with this coach, and it was really, really good. But there was probably about, I'm going to say 3 or 4 months that I had this like internal noise that was giving me like almost like static's not quite the right word, but kind of like static. This noise, this friction, this whatever that was saying, it's time to step forward on your own. It's time to let go of this particular like one-on-one container. We've done our learning, we've done our growth. It's time to move forward. But I kept hanging on. And the I'm not going to go into the depth of it because gosh, we'll be here for hours, but like really what I want to clarify, the lesson was to trust the noise, because sometimes sometimes it's so fucking clear, right? We have so much clarity on what's coming through and we still don't like to listen to it. So like let's start listening to the insides. But sometimes what we're hearing just sounds like static. And it's really hard at that time to know, but I knew there was this sort of like low frequency drum beat deep inside that was giving me indications that it was time to move on. They were showing up in weird ways, though. They were showing up in like fear of running out of finances, fear of spending more money on this coach, fear of like, what's my husband going to think of like spending the money on my coach? Money has been a big part of like my lessons this year, which is no surprise given that I teach about money. So that I'm expecting is going to be a theme. It's just going to continue throughout my life. But the messages felt confusing. So it just felt like noise. When I finally stopped working with the coach, I guess is the best way to put it. I still love this coach. Like, I have zero bad things to say about this person. It wasn't like I was like, get the fuck out of my life. But when I finally stopped, oh my goodness, the noise quieted down. I came back into myself. Everything started to ground again. The growth and the learning that I had done stayed and was fully supporting me, but there was space to like be on my own. All right. Number 4, celebrate me no matter what. So here's the short of that. My birthday is August 31st, which means that my birthday almost always falls on September long weekend, the very last part of summer holidays, the very beginning of school. It's all kinds of like, if when I was growing up on the farm, it was harvest season. My birthday seems to always just sort of be on this like weird time of year for other people to come together and celebrate me. Now, I love my birthday and I will celebrate my birthday until I have no more birthdays, and probably even after that. Who knows? But what I decided to do this year, so last year I tried to throw myself a birthday party because I was turning 40. I'm like, it's a big deal. And I sent out the invites and all I got back was no after no after no. And after I think like the 11th person, and I hadn't received no yeses. So after like the 11th person responded and said, no, can't make it. I was like, fuck it. I'm canceling this because at this point, like there was maybe 3 people left on the list. I'm like, that's not so much a party. And it's definitely not the vibe that I wanted. And then this year I was like, do I do it in August? Doesn't work. And I decided in October, fuck it. I was going to have my birthday party. I was going to host it at the beginning of December before all the Christmas craziness happens, when snow was on the ground, which is my favorite, and it was amazing. We had an amazing time. So celebrate me no matter what. Number 5, timing is a real element. OMG. So my husband's family has a cabin that's like literally right on a lake. It's not on the water, but it's like you like take 30 steps and you're from the cabin, you're in the lake itself. So there's been discussion in our family about building a new cabin, making it something that's like useful for the family to go on for the next 30, 40, 50 years, however long we all plan to be around. We started working on this design about 2.5 years ago and really trying to focus on like getting it started or ready to build in a fall season so that we could spend the summer at the cabin. We were like 95% done on the design, and then things just absolutely fell apart. It all went there. It can only be described as fuck shit sideways. And it happened to be at the exact same time that my husband and I were planning our wedding. And I was an absolute basket case. I was so just like anxious and nervous, and things were not going well. And since my husband and I are the designers and the construction people in the family, we were integral to like getting things moving. So we said, look, we've got too much coming on. We're stepping back. If you want to keep going, knock yourselves out. But like, we need to focus on the wedding. We have a lot going on. Fast forward to a year and a half later, there were some changes that happened in our family, and conversation came up, said, can we start working on the cabin design? And I kid you not, in less than 3 months, we had a fully finalized design. We've reached out to builders. We are now at the stage of like basically getting our builder aligned so that we can start building in fall of 2025. That's the goal. So the lesson here is that timing really is a real element. I know, and I've talked about this before, that we want things to happen so fast, but like, OMG, if there has been a lesson that has been coming through over and over and over this year, the time is real and it is a piece of the puzzle. Lesson number 6, take what works or resonates and leave the rest. Oh my goodness, this is one of my favorite phrases. This is something that I would probably say is like new-ish in the online learning space. So when I started technically my second design business, when I was here in Calgary, I signed up with a business program who was like, do every single thing that I tell you and you will be successful. And what I discovered was it was impossible to do every single thing this person was telling me. As a solopreneur, there just was not enough of me to go around and not enough money to go around because a lot of what they were saying like required some financial resources to implement. Never mind like trying to just like do the design work, right? But of course, because I couldn't do all 4,000 things, that was what they pointed out as like, well, that's what's failing. This idea of you have to do everything exactly as I say, and of course, I mean, you see this on the socials all the time, follow this strategy and you'll be successful. It can work, but I find very often that it doesn't work for whatever reason. I could come up with 100 different ones, depending on what we're looking at. What I loved was that some teachers who are really aware that like not every single thing works exactly the same for every single person, when these people that I've been following for a while, learning from for a while, basically said, take what works or take what resonates and leave the rest. Oh my gosh, I felt like I had a permission slip to not stress the fuck out. And this phrase has really shifted my approach to learning from others. So it's widened my opportunity for receiving wisdom and insight from others. It's like completely reduced anxiety and stress and overwhelm that I feel. And in fact, when I feel overwhelm showing up through how someone is presenting a learning or a teaching or a guide, it is generally a signal to me that this probably isn't a way that resonates with me. And so therefore, I can just leave it alone, right? So this is one of my favorite lessons and favorite phrases of this year. Number 7, the body has its own timing. Did I mention that there was a lot of lessons on my body this year? So I've shared this before in episodes across this year, but the last 2 months of 2023, when I left my job, I had 2 months of just intense rest and healing, which was not planned. I was planning like a couple of days, and here I was for 2 months, just could not fucking function. Finally feeling my energy start to come back in like January, February, I started to like really sort of hit my stride to be able to like get going. But then I noticed again this deep tiredness roll back in, sort of like end of November into December this year. And I struggle with that. I am someone who likes to be in motion, who likes to be in production, who likes to be doing things. I've decided, or almost decided, that I think one of the things I'm going to be actively working on in 2025 is really actively practicing how to rest. Okay, so stay tuned. There's going to be, I'm sure, 1,000 more podcast episodes that I'm going to share about it. But what really came through was that our body has its own timing. Even though you might think I should be able to keep going, or I have these goals, or I have these whatever targets, your body might just go, yo, bitch, sit your ass down. Okay. And we need to honor that. It's really important that we honor that. Number 8. First of all, I love that this is number 8 because, like, I love 8s. Above all, love me first, most, and absolutely. Which is to say, before I choose my husband over me, before I choose work over me, before I choose anything else, love on me first. Okay? Love on me first. Oh my gosh, I am like, you can't see me, but I am like full preach with the hand here. Love on me first. What this can look like. Yes, of course, we like to talk about self-care and self-love with like the bubble baths and the wine and the reading the book. Sure, that's all great. And also, dates with myself. I realized this year that I was feeling resentful of my husband in different ways. Not, it makes it sound like he was a terrible person. It's not. There was just these moments that came up. But when I reflected and actually looked in, and I think I shared about this in the podcast before, what I realized was that I actually was not giving myself what I desired. I wanted to feel seen, to feel honored, to feel cherished, to feel loved. And that has to come from me first. So I started doing dates with myself. I remembered that I fucking love to do puzzles. So I bought a 10 pack of puzzles. I kid you not, when I go into something, I go in all out. Okay. So I bought myself a 10 pack of puzzles and I started setting aside evenings where I would just like sit and puzzle. If my husband was home, that's fine. He can watch TV or whatever. I put on some headphones with some super chill vibes music and I would sit and do my puzzle. I would go for a walk. I would watch a movie in the middle of the afternoon. This one is 100% a work in progress. I'm not going to lie to you. It's something that I don't know if I've made it through an entire movie yet in the middle of the afternoon, with the exception of when I'm completely laid out because my period is like really kicking my ass. I think that's the only time I've made it fully through a movie. And then even then it's like, okay, I got to go do something. Um, this also looks like this whole loving on myself first, honoring my desires. This is a big one. Women, ladies, girls, what I don't know where I was going with that sentence. Yo, my sisters. I gotta go full rap on you. Oh my goodness, can we talk about this more? Honoring our desires just because we have them. Reading a book, eating healthy, having a snack, wearing the pants I want to wear instead of what's next in line. Fun fact, I like do the whole same thing with like food where it's like the first in is the first out. I do the same thing with my laundry, okay? Which means that like the freshly washed towels go to the bottom of the pile. My freshly washed pants go to the bottom of the pile. My underwear just go all in a basket. So like that's kind of whatever. But the point is what I found myself a few times, and it's funny, but it's important to understand. I found myself a few times this year being like, well, I can't wear those pants. Those aren't the next one in the rotation. And then I'm like, who the fuck cares? And if I wore these last week, who cares? They're clean. Fucking wear them again, right? And sometimes I don't want to wear them at all. So I just tuck them aside. Like it sounds silly, but what this is a marker of honoring my desires. And this all relates to the big lesson of loving myself first, most, and absolutely. Number 9, the 40s are weird, okay? I am honestly very excited to be in my 40s. My husband laughed at me because I was like, okay, when my birthday happened this year, I'm like, I'm now officially in my 40s. He's like, babe, you've been in your 40s for like a year already. I'm like, no, I was 40. Now I am in my 40s. There's a very important distinction for me. So the 40s are weird, in particular for women, okay? Because like there's a lot of physical changes that we basically, I mean, we know it's coming. Like, I don't think there's a woman alive, at least in her 30s, that doesn't have some awareness of like, yo, shit's gonna get all kinds of shaken up when we reach 40. I think all of us know this. But yeah, I'm a very excited about this decade. I honestly, truly am like super fucking excited about it. But I'm not gonna lie to you, it's kind of weird. And fun fact, I'm sharing this and hope that you will share this out because, oh my gosh, I didn't know this at the time. Existential crises are par for the perimenopause course. I, honest to goodness, was like, what the? I thought I mean, I was, and I still am. I'm still in this like deep, like full shift. I mean, I'm very excited about what 2025 is going to bring. Um, I feel this like deep coming home into myself, but I did not realize that this space that I was in, where I just honestly was like, what is life all about? What's the point? Why are we here? What's my purpose? Like this deep sort of almost apathy for the experience of life. Not feeling suicidal. I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm like ready to shuffle off. I'm just like, but like, what's the fucking point to keep going? And this lasted for several weeks. It might be upwards of a month, maybe more than a month. I can't remember. But a friend of mine, this is why I think it's amazing. Every woman should have friends who are older than she is. This is very important for life and like getting through shit. Okay. A friend of mine shared a meme on Instagram that talked about like the whole existential crisis part of perimenopause. I'm like, oh my God, is that a thing? And she's like, yeah, it's very common, especially when you're kind of like, I think, sort of getting into the beginnings of perimenopause. And I'm like, oh my Jesus. Sorry, I needed a quick sip of water. So the 40s are weird, as existential crises are par for the perimenopause course. Buckle up, ladies. It gets real exciting. And this leans into number 10. Men are weird. They're fucking weirdos, okay? They just are. I will spend my life trying to figure them out, and I probably will not ever get fully close to like having them fully sorted. What I have learned, and this is a lesson that I feel like I learn, and then I have to learn all over again, is that it is important and imperative for me to be careful, specific, and often very general in the information that I share with men in my life. Listen up, ladies. Are you tired of being told to be confident like a man? To be confident but not brash? To be compelling but not too talkative? To take up space but not too much? It is exhausting and impossible to follow the rules of the game that are supposed to help us show up more authentically, to feel more confident, and to be seen and valued in our work, because the rules of the game were never written for women. I am tired of this, and so I have got a game-changing workshop coming your way in early 2025. It is all about unlocking your authentic feminine confidence, the kind that naturally attracts promotions, raises, recognition, respect, without needing to practice gross male cocky energy or feeling like you're putting on a mask. Imagine feeling grounded and secure as you add your voice to the next group meeting. Imagine naturally attracting in recognition, respect, and opportunities. Imagine how good it will feel to own your voice, to share your power, and not spend the days afterwards worrying that you came across as too strong, too bossy, or too much. That's the power of true confidence, and I want to show you how to embody it. This workshop will be hosted live in early 2025, and the time is now to get on the wait list. Don't miss out on early bird registration and insider discounts that will only be shared with folks who have put their name on the wait list. So join the wait list now by going to amyvanmeal.com/confidence. It is time to stand in your power, babe. It is time to shine in your career. Sign up to the waitlist today. So here's what I mean by that. When we were at a gathering of some friends a couple weeks ago, and I was chatting with one of our friends who happens to be a guy who is a very like self-aware, what's the word I'm looking for? Like really, I don't know, in tune, awake kind of person, right? Like he gets it when we're talking about meditation and inner knowings and intuition and like all that jazz. He doesn't just understand it intellectually, like he deeply has this knowledge of it. And I was sharing a little bit about some of what this year has brought about and like a bit about my business, and he launched into this like, so here's what you could do, and then spend about 5 minutes giving me all this air quotes business advice. Meanwhile, I'm standing there going, I don't understand how we've landed in this conversation. I didn't ask for any advice. I wasn't telling you any of this to ask for your input. I was simply you asked me a question of how things are going, and I was sharing with you how things are going. And the whole way through, I kept going, okay, Amy, like, don't shut him out, because maybe there's something really useful in here, right? Like just there could be something like a real gem in here. And if nothing else, like then whatever. It's been 5 minutes of your life that you won't get back, but like it's not the end of the world. And then he finished by going, But you know what? I've never owned a business, so I'm really just talking out of my ass here. I'm making it all up. So like take whatever you want and or not. I remember being like, I don't understand. Like I'm glad that you gave me that out, but like why did we go down here? So, this is not new learning for me. Like I said, this is something that I seem to keep learning over and over and over again. And I think the next level of this lesson is finding my voice to go, "Hey, yo, I super appreciate that you want to help, but I didn't tell you this with the focus of you giving me a solution. And if I wanted to talk it through with you, I absolutely will, and I will be very clear about that. But this is actually kind of annoying." I suspect that's going to be like level 2 or level 30 or whatever level it is of this version. But the short version of this lesson is that men are fucking weird, and I need to be even more discerning about what I share, how I share, and what I'm open to receiving into my life. Because sometimes I'm just like, no thanks. Okay? Number 11, follow what lights me up. Oh my goodness. This has been a huge, huge, huge lesson that's been coming through my business in particular. Uh, excuse me. Things like ads really aren't so much my jam. Like the social media ads and everything else. I know they're useful. I know they can have impact 100%. And that is something that at some point in my life, of course, I get into it. Posting 150 times a week is not my jam. Okay. I have talked about this before. Social media is a tool that I understand is important to use, and I do my best to be present on it and to bring really good things out there for you on it, and like to, I suppose, in short, leverage the tool for the good of my business, for your good, for your growth, for your impact, right? That's it. Listen, the only reason I'm on the socials is for you, babe. Okay. So, like, this is not for me. I'm not out here for my own joy. I'm out here slogging it out so that I can reach more of you, which is why you'll hear me in every podcast episode going, please, like, follow me on the gram, follow me on the TikToks, share this podcast, follow this podcast, like, let people, because, girl, I need your fucking help, okay? That's why I'm sharing it. What my point is, these things don't light me up. They are tools that I understand their use and I leverage depending on like what's happening. But what I discovered, and this took a moment for me to just kind of quietly go, okay, what is it that actually like I'm so just is natural for me, lights me the fuck up, feels good doing, and also can really create massive positive impact for my business and help get the message and my voice and my teachings out there. And what I discovered was that sitting down with someone and having a conversation is my jam all day long, every day of the week. Maybe not every day of the week. There are some times that I'm like, go away, humanity. I don't want to talk to you. But that is very few and far between. And even on my worst day, I almost always am down for a conversation with a fellow human. And this is why I shifted my focus from, oh my gosh, I have to do all these posts and I have to do all these things, to I'm going to reach out to other women who have podcasts, who have audiences, who are already serving amazing souls in a really cool way, and I'm going to ask or put myself out there or offer myself to come onto their podcast as a guest. And that has been the shift in my focus for my outreach plan. And which is, I'm going to just add a little tiny plug in here. If you have a podcast and or you know somebody who has a podcast and or you know of a podcast that you think would be really great for me to go guest on, let me know, let them know, share the information, reach out to me, reach out to them, like help me get into contact with these people because I really love being in this way of serving and it is my fucking jam. It lights me up and these conversations are so, 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 so good. All right. Number 12, scary doesn't have to mean big. This is a big one, okay? So, um, this is sort of like par with the phrase of like, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. I don't fully agree with that. Let me color that in just a tiny little bit. My dreams don't scare me. Okay. I'm not looking at them with like fear, like, oh my God. Not because they're not big, like they're fucking big. Okay. They don't scare me because they feel like that's where I'm meant to be. Okay. It's just this sort of inner guiding movement. So it doesn't feel scary. There are elements of it that feel scary. Of course, I have a vision of being on stage and talking to, I don't know, tens or hundreds or thousands of people. I have no idea what that's going to look like. And I know 100% that the moment that that arises in the days and weeks and hours leading up to it, and the moments before I step out on stage, I'm going to be shitting my fucking pants because it's going to be feel scary, but it also scary doesn't have to mean big, okay? I want to share the fact that the lesson was basically disconnecting from, quote, big moves and noticing how even what appears to be small can actually feel really uncomfortable and stretching. We have been sold this false bill of goods that says that in order to be growing and stretching, we have to feel uncomfortable. Of course, that's like that part is true. All right, like totally get that. And also, it has to be like super super big. But that's actually not true. There's a lot of things that outwardly look fucking tiny. The people may not even notice they're so small, but for us, they can feel really uncomfortable. They can feel really scary, and it's harder to share and talk about these things because of course, like if you're like, oh my gosh, like it feels really scary to me to, I don't know, let's say like post on social media once a week. To someone else that's so small and so minuscule, they'll be like, just fucking get over it and do it. But that, I'm not going to get into the whole thing. Like if it feels scary for you, it feels scary for you. So I suppose I'm getting into teaching mode. I want to pull myself out of teaching mode because I'm just in sharing mode. So moving into sharing mode, the lesson that I learned was basically that scary doesn't have to mean big. And that really helped reframe a lot of the movements and the growth that I went through this year. Okay, I'm just going to get my camera going here. Oh my goodness, I have a new phone and I'm still figuring it out. Amy learns technology in 2024. Okay, yeah. So here we go. Sorry for all of you podcast listeners. I'm going to leave this in here because I just like believe in being real with you so you understand what's shaking bacon in my life. I finally upgraded my phone out of duress, okay? I loved my 8 Plus, really wanted to keep it forevers. But things were beginning to really not work. And I'm like, okay, this is annoying as fuck. And so I upgraded to the 16 Plus, 16 Pro, 16 Plus Pro. I don't know. It's the 16 something. I think it's the 16 Pro. And I'm still figuring out how it does all the things. I, for serious, really miss the home button. Okay. So if anybody from Apple is listening to this, please bring back the home button. I actually really miss that. Okay, here we are. We're ready to go. I wanted to record this as a video because this is part of what I'm going to share on the socials. Remember how I said I don't love socials? Here's me learning how to work with it. So, number 13 in my lessons. When women use financial tools to build their business, we feel like we're failing and doing it wrong. Fucking mic drop. When men do it, they call it capital and leverage. I am all fired up on this lesson. This is something that came through as a result of putting myself out there and guesting on a number of different podcast episodes and listening to the language that these women reflected back to me as they shared their specific experience of building and growing their businesses and feeling really uncomfortable using leveraged money, aka debt or credit cards or financing or whatever, in order to help grow their business. Women, oh my gosh, there's a reason that I am so fucking passionate about teaching women about money, about confidence, about power, about all of these things, because oh my God, do we have some fucking broken messaging. Men call it leverage. They call it capital. They call it, like the risk reward kind of cycle. And women are like, oh my God, I'm fucking doing it wrong and I'm a giant fucking failure. No. This lesson that came through so clearly throughout this year has really bolstered my internal fire, my motivation, drag my soapbox out of the cupboard and be like, fucking listen, we've got it wrong. Let's fix how we see this, right? It is so, so, so important that we understand that, first of all, money is a tool. Second of all, we get to use it how we want to. Okay. I go all into this. Like, I really talk about money as a tool inside the Building Vampires program, which, little like sneak peek, I feel like is coming in for a rename in 2025. A couple of tweaks coming up. But I actually talk about this very clearly inside the program because it is such a big, big, big truth that we need to talk about. Number 14. Where am I? Am I only on 14? Oh my goodness. All right, Amy, we gotta like shake it up here a little bit. Number 14. Source, God, universe, whatever resonates for you, will never let me starve. I am source. I won't let me starve. This is actually a reflection that came to me while I was driving. And I love like reflections that show up when I'm driving. I'm like, something about A, when I'm like doing workouts, or B, when I'm driving my car is like, it's like a hot wire, a hotline. Yeah, a hotline. That's what I'm trying to, oh my gosh. A hotline to the divine that says, Amy's ready. Let's drop some gold on her. Okay? Because she's here. She's listening. So this dropped through for me when I was driving one day. Don't remember where I was going exactly. Doesn't really matter. The idea that, the truth that we are part of source. Okay. So our souls, because you have your soul and I have my soul, our souls come directly from source. And I use the word source as a way to like, it's the easiest, most connected word for me. If you use God, you use the divine, you use Allah, you use whatever word resonates for you to describe the connected cosmic sort of global, bigger than global space. My words are starting to fail me. See, this is what happens when I'm like recording when I should be off resting. Whatever word you use, I use source. We are part of that giant energy, okay? If we are part of that energy, if I am of source, if I am of the divine, if I am a religion will call us a child of God, if I am a piece of the universe, like whatever you want to see it as, then it would stand to reason that I would not allow myself to starve. Okay? I would not allow myself to like completely go destitute or to completely like just, I don't know, fucking die. Like whatever. For me, it was a real clear resonation. That's a weird way to say that, but like, oh my goodness, I can't think of the word, but like to resonate, however that gets conjugated, in saying, I am of source. I won't let me starve, which means I am always taken care of. Okay. Number 15. I fucking love this one. It's time to question everything. I've had 41 years of building an identity, okay? I've been at it for a while. I've made minor shifts and changes along the way. I've made some like big changes and shifts along the way. But the point is, the foundation of everything and every part of like who I am rests on 40 years of experiences. And how I am, oh, my note says how I'm exploring change much bigger and deeper. Let me color that in. Where I'm at now in my life, and this is why I'm so fucking excited for like what's to come in 2025, because I really feel this like deep, 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 amazing, bold, beautiful awakening. So like, look out world, because I am fucking coming for you. All right. I am really have been in this space of exploring a change that is so much bigger, so much deeper, so much fuller than simply shifting a few beliefs. And instead, I am like, honest to goodness, staring down the barrel, fully exploring a full identity rewrite. That is not to say there is anything wrong with my identity, okay? That is 0% of what I am saying. But as I mentioned earlier, the 40s is a very fucking exciting decade. I'm very fucking excited about like what's happening. And one of the big things that's happening for me right now is questioning everything and really going, what if it's not just about shifting a few beliefs? I know how to do that. I teach you how to do that. That's easy to do, right? It's not hard to shift the beliefs. But this sense of what if shifting beliefs is just patchwork on top? And actually, I'm in the space of a complete rewrite. So that's lesson number 15. Number 16, above all, be kind. This, it's a simple one. Let me just keep it super simple. Be kind to the person knocking on your door, attempting to sell you services. Be kind to the person walking into the building behind you. Hold the door, smile, say hello. Be kind to the cashier, to the gas station attendant. Be kind to people around you. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. Beating yourself up isn't working. If it was, you would have changed already. Berating yourself, hating on yourself, just generally like piling shit on top of yourself. If it worked, you would have changed. Okay? Stop doing that shit because we know it doesn't work. Instead, be kind to yourself. Being kind does not mean going, well, guess this is as good as I want and like giving up responsibility for your life. That is not at all what it is. Being kind is loving on you. All right? Understanding that you are human, that you are fallible, that you have moments that like shit happens, that in every moment of every day, you are hopefully truly doing the best that you can. And when you're doing your best, we can't ask for anything more. Be fucking kind to yourself. Number 17, give yourself time to speak. This has been a really, really big, exciting lesson for me. So I've been really in the space of like shifting a fear or a belief that I'm not very good at expressing myself in conversations. Okay. What I find is a couple of things. First, I find conversations go very, very, very fast, which is true. I mean, just in general, is how conversations go. But when we're in a deep conversation, pick any like subject, I actually take time to process what we're talking about and take time to process to say what I want to say. The problem is that everybody else isn't on board. All right. Unless it's like me and one or two other people, and there's this natural, they can see me actively like wanting to say something and like processing and being, they know that I'm intentional, super intentional with my words, and they'll wait. But sorry, guys, the majority of men do not pick up on that. And ladies, we are not exempt, okay? I have tons of women in my life that do not see that and just fucking roll right through. So what was happening was I either never got to like get a full thought out into a conversation. B, I sounded like a fucking idiot because I'd get like half of something out and never got a full thing out. And I'm like, but that wasn't actually the point that I was trying to make. And now I just sound like a ding dong. C, I just would shut down. I'd shut down in conversations. I'd ask questions. I can ask questions all day long, like at hyperspeed. Okay. It's one of my superpowers. But being able to actually create a thought, shift a thought, adjust a thought, put it together into words and deliver it in the way that I want it to be delivered, that takes time to happen, okay? So I've been really moving through this fear and shifting this belief, and I talk about it a lot with my husband because he's amazing at conversation and deep conversation on any fucking topic. And I'm a little bit jealous of like how easily and effortlessly he does that. Now, here's what I want to share. I have a deep, loving relationship with my mother-in-law. I know that sounds probably weird because, like, the whole meme is that, like, our in-laws are like dragons, right? No. My mother-in-law and I fucking adore one another. Um, we yeah, we just adore one another. Don't have to go further into that. We were up visiting, my husband's parents, I don't remember when, earlier this year, and it's her and I sitting in the living room together having a conversation, and we're talking about something deep. And our conversations, the pace appears slower to, like, conversations with the whole family because they're super in depth. Each of us has space and gives space for the other to share their thoughts and share their ideas. And I remember her saying to me, and I was absolutely gobsmacked when she said this to me, and it really sat with me. And I mentioned to her later how much I appreciated it. She said to me, Amy, I'm always nervous to have a conversation with you. And at first, my insides were like, oh, fuck, here we go. Because it's like people, I was told my whole life when I was little that, like, I was a bolo, or I was like, not a pushover. I was the opposite. I was too bossy. I was too whatever. Anyway, so I've learned to, like, really stop saying anything because it wasn't okay to be the fullness of myself. She says, I'm always a little nervous to have a conversation with you because you are so well spoken, so well read. You know these um, topics so deeply. You really think through things. You're very, very knowledgeable. And I often feel like I don't know enough. And it was such an amazing moment of vulnerability. Not to go, oh my gosh, this is one of the smartest women I know. Okay. She is, there's a reason that we have a mutual adoration society for one another. She is fucking intelligent and informed and just one of the most amazing humans I know. And to have her say to me, I feel nervous talking with you because you are so informed and you are so intellectual in your conversation, really took me back. It really, it deeply resonated inside me, to go, oh my gosh, okay, so I don't come across like an idiot all the time. And I do have something of quality to say. And that does show up in my conversations with others. It was a beautiful, beautiful moment and truly one of the best gifts that I've received for sure this year and probably in the last like 20 years. And all of that sort of coalesces in this lesson of give yourself time to speak. Number 18, you can create massive changes with a few tiny nutrition changes. I've shared a podcast, I don't remember when, but like go back, I think it's earlier of 2024, where I talk about like some of the nutritional changes I made from reading the book In the Flow and how deeply and profoundly they impacted my experience with my period. That one is huge. There's a few other small changes, like I'm talking literally adding a tablespoon of chia seeds, a tablespoon of goji berries, and a half tablespoon of cacao nibs into my daily yogurt, and how massively they have shifted my life and how I experience just my energy and the day and all the things. So, what I want to, especially for oh my gosh, ladies, this one is like from my heart to yours. We have so much stuff rammed down our throat. We should do this. We shouldn't do this. Do eat this. Eat less of this. Blah, blah. You don't have to make giant, giant changes to see giant changes in your life. Okay. A few tiny nutrition changes can have massive impact on your experience. Number 19 has really been coming into my voice. This is one of my favorite stories that I'm coming out of this year with. So, in the same party that I was sharing earlier where I was getting like business advice, this is from a different person, but also a gentleman who is in the room. This person has a daughter who is a teenager. And this person was sharing about how they just really hate swearing and they feel like swearing is just gross and vulgar and wrong and like a mark of unintelligence. And I'm like, I don't feel like that's true at all, but like, whatever, you do you, fucker. you know? What was coming through this conversation was talking about how they were wanting to make sure that their kids don't swear. Now, this isn't a bit of a group conversation. So myself and some of the other folks in the group kind of shared a look like, good luck with that. Listen, all the parents who are listening to this, have you ever had any luck in having your kids not swear? I mean, come on. Like, come on. It just happens. It's all over the world. Of course they're going to use this. That's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about was, in the context of this conversation, the lesson that I'm sharing is that I'm coming into my voice. We're having this conversation. He's sharing about his daughter. He's talking about his dislike for swear words. And I have always held this belief that like swear words are just words. They're just words, okay? They only have the meaning that we ascribe to them. So you get to decide if you think they're bad, but that doesn't mean that they're bad for everybody else, okay? Like people hate the word moist. I don't care. You want to talk about cake? It's moist. There's no better way to describe it, right? So here's what I shared. And I was so fucking proud of myself for saying this and saying this so clearly. We're talking about his daughter, and I just looked at him. I said, your daughter is a young woman coming into the world. The world has a whole bunch to say about how women need to appear. What if you taught her how to wield her words instead of teaching her to feel ashamed or afraid of using words? The point is that words are just words. And as women, as young girls, we have so much fucking garbage dumped on us about how to be a good girl and how we need to operate in order to win in the world. And boys get different rules, right? And of course, the world is written for men. So now we have the wrong set of rules, but we have all this garbage that's dumped on us. And one of the big things, especially for women, I think, is this sense of being ashamed and afraid of using our own voice. So I am becoming more and more passionate about this as I age. I'm really aging into my passion. But the lesson for me really is coming into my voice and using my voice to advocate, to teach, to share, to open awareness, to really just advocate for others. Number 20, we're almost there. All right, we got 5 more left. Number 20, do what you want. Do what feels good, even if you do it alone. Okay? So I love to ski. That's not a surprise to anybody. And we missed the very first weekend of skiing because somehow I never got any of the emails. I still don't understand what happened there, but whatever. I found out on the following weekend, Saturday afternoon. Oh my goodness, the ski opened last weekend. What the H? We've missed it. I go home, go to my husband, say, let's go skiing. He's like, babe, I've got a lot of work to do, and I'm also too tired. I don't really want to go. Where normally I would go, well, I guess I'm not going then because going by myself is not so much fun. But what I realized was, I fucking want to go, okay? It feels good to go. I've been waiting for ski season for 6 months. I'm really excited about it. I'm just going to go do it, even if it means I'm doing it alone, all right? If I go for a walk, even if nobody else wants to go with me, I'll do it alone. If I want to go to a coffee shop, nobody else wants to go with me, I do it on my own. Do what you want to do and do what feels good, even if you're doing it by yourself. Nothing wrong with that. Number 21, move. Move often, move in different ways, movement as honoring your body. Plus also, it's not all about cardio anymore, and why strength training is the bomb diggity, okay? So I am a huge advocate for movement. Now, if you follow me and you catch my stories ever, you know that like I'm often sharing about like workouts that I do. In fact, just today when I'm recording this episode, I shared today's workout, which is really can't be listed as a workout. It was a short walk followed by literally 15 sit-ups, okay? But it's movement. Movement is so, so important. It is a way of honoring our body. It is a way of shifting our energy. It is so, so vital for our body. I grew up in the era where everything was like cardio all day long, right? Hit the runs, do the treadmills, do the like, get your heart rate up, do the whole business. And what I'm discovering, and I love that this is coming out, and this is also part of, again, the discovery of our 40s. Ladies, listen up. I'm not going to go deep into the science, but as we age, it is more important that we focus on building muscle for the long-term health and strength of our body. So why strength training is the bomb diggity One of the big things that I hear women talk about often is a fear of getting bulky. Yo, girls, let me just tell you right now, you have to work really fucking hard to get bulky, okay? Like, and it's not just lifting heavier weights. It is lifting heavier weights, of course. It is doing it to a certain degree of reps and in a certain way. It is changing entirely how you nourish your body, aka, hello, chicken breast and rice. Why do you think you hear about that all the time when like movie actors, stars, or whatever are like bulking up for movies? There is a lot that needs to happen in order to bulk up your body. And also, female bodies are not generally our what is that I'm trying to say? Like our biochemistry isn't super supportive of super bulky muscles. This is a general rule, okay? So like don't email me or like write me and be like, "Hey, my body blah blah blah." As a general rule, women's bodies are not built in that way. We don't have the same level of testosterone as the dudes do. I mean, come on. This is like biology 101. We all fucking know this. We knew this since we were like 6. When I love my husband can like lift a box 3 times and pop a bicep. And I'm like, how do you get muscles already? I've been lifting weights forever and like can barely see a little tiny like bicep apple, right? So our physiology is different. Our biochemistry is different. Strength training is super important for the long term health of your body as women. And it's fucking great. It feels super powerful. It makes you just like exude more confidence. It changes your posture in the best possible way. It makes your butt look fucking great. All right. Like strength training is the bomb diggity. Number 22, I love talking about money. This seems like an odd lesson to have this year or have an odd awareness. But I honestly love talking about money. I just don't love talking about my bank account. I mean, that's just where it is. Okay. Like if you're like, Amy, tell me about your bank account. I don't really want to. I'm not super excited about it. Maybe that will change at some point. I have no idea. It's not my jam, but talking about money in general, especially money as it like applies for women, money as a tool, history of money, all this fucking could talk about it forever. Okay. Number 23, trust isn't built from when life is easy. Trust is built and strengthened when life is tough. I want to put that on repeat. Oh my goodness. When everything is going good, we're like, oh, I trust God, I trust source, I trust universe, I trust whatever. I trust it's all working out. Super fucking easy when life is going well. When life is completely hitting the skids and the shit is falling from the fan and from the sky and up from the ground in every possible direction, you're like, what the fuck is happening? That is when trust is hard. Okay? And it's when it is the most needed. When everything seems to be going shit fuck sideways. And you're like, what in God's name am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. Literally, your life, your reality is rearranging itself in order to bring in what you've been desiring. It looks messy. Hello, have you ever lived through a renovation? You cannot go through a renovation without some measure of mess. Okay? Like, don't even get me started. If you do a full house gut and reno, everything comes apart and you are going to be like crying in your cornflakes more than once. I'm like, oh my God, is this actually going to come together? I've worked with countless clients through this when I had my interior design business, right? I talk about this with clients in my one-on-one coaching of like, look, I know life looks messy right now. I know it's really hard to trust that it's all working out right now because all you're seeing is everything is just blowing the fuck up. But trust isn't built from when life is easy. It's fucking easy to trust when life is easy, right? Hey, the sun's gonna shine today. How do I know? Well, it's fucking shining right now and it's blue sky. I don't have to worry about it. That's not trust. That's not faith. That's not like believing deeply. That's just fucking looking out the window, okay? Trust is built. True trust, true strength, true faith is built when things are fucking hard. All right, I could talk about this for hours, but I'm going to leave it there. Number 24, our final piece. I honestly did not expect this episode to be over an hour long, but here we are. Number 24, answer the call from your heart. Write the book, even without knowing all the steps to get it published. Record the course, even without knowing if it's going to sell or how to sell it. Wear the glitter, even if you're not 12 anymore. Play with makeup. Give compliments freely. Hug big. Love bigger. Fucking listen to your heart. Your heart, I don't think it's ever, ever wrong. It can feel cloudy. It can feel completely out of left field. See number 23 about trust. Okay. Answer the call from your heart. Take the step. I've been writing a book in the last few months, even without having any idea how I'm going to publish it, how I want to publish it, if I'm going to publish it. No, but it just had to come out. My heart just kept going, please write this book. Please write it down. It needs to come forward. For my entrepreneurs out there, if you've been having the goal or dream of a business or the goal or dream of a course, a program, a service, something that is just like, it's just been on your heart and you're like, fuck, it just won't go away. Just do the thing. Record the course. I know, look, I get it. I know there are very, very successful business teachers and strategists and entrepreneurs who will say to you, don't create anything unless you know there's a market fit for it. All right, fine. What I will say to that, don't spend thousands of dollars on like building a widget if nobody's interested in it. Okay? Like if you're like, I'm going to design the next cool piece of paper, but like we don't need it, then like don't spend $1 billion on it, right? I mean, that part seems simple, but we whitewash that onto everything. We take that same brush and we put it on every other possible thing. We're like, well, if I can't pre-sell it, then there must not be a fit. Listen, I wrote, recorded, and like put together the money course before I had a single person interested. I am continually promoting the course, even as my audience is small and growing. Okay. I know that what I am sharing needs to get out there. I know that there is a place for it, not just because I've talked with people and like this comes up over and over and over again, but because my heart is not wrong. It just kept coming through to me. Talk about money, teach about money, do this, write this, share this, bring this forward. People need this. And then figure out how to get it out there if that's something that you want to do. But do the thing. Answer the call from your heart. Okay, my loves. It was a very passionate episode. I have loved this episode. Make sure, well, I guess not make sure. Listen, you do you, boo, okay? If like you're like, I'm fucking just ignoring the rest of the outside world for the next 6 weeks, that's great. But I'm going to be recording a couple of shorties for you to be released on Christmas Day and New Year's Day for your pleasure. I'd love it if you listen. And if you don't, well, hey, that's cool too. But please, if you haven't yet, leave a review of the podcast. See, remember I talked about this like way back when with the whole thing? Leave a review of the podcast because it helps get the word out there. And I'd love to hear. Reach out to me on the DMs, okay? Hit me up on the gram, hit me up on the socials, on TikTok. All the links are always in the show notes. But let me know, like, what was some of your biggest learnings of 2024? I'm super curious to hear. I've seen a few things of like different people online talking about some of their reflections, and I'm like, oh my God, it wasn't just me that went through that this year. That's interesting. I feel like 2024 was a really big year, and not just because of the major astrological shift that we had happen in November. I'm very curious. So tell me, tell me the things, share with me in the DMs, or just pop it as a comment on the most recent social post, whatever. I'm just excited to hear about you. With that, my loves, I'm going to go use the washroom, change my laundry, and then sit down and record a couple more episodes because I am, and I decided. All right. With that, my love, I will see you soon. Mwah! Bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you loved what you heard today, be sure to share it with me by leaving a review on your favorite podcast platform and help me reach more like-minded people who are ready to expand their life. If you haven't yet followed me on social media, Find me on Instagram for extra love and inspiration by following at Amy Van Meel or visit my website at amyvanmeel.com. I love you so much, babe, and I am damn proud of you. I am already excited to connect in the next episode. And in the meantime, believe in yourself with the confidence of a 5-year-old.